When I accepted Christ into my life, I was in my grandma's house, where my grandma's house it's a lot of people there. It was like 15 people in a 3-bedroom home. And I had a room all to myself. And I was scrolling on Facebook, usual, just scrolling on Facebook. And I came across this man that was talking about Jesus and how when the Holy Spirit fills you, he can give you peace, long-suffering, and just a whole bunch of other good stuff that I was just longing for. And kneeling down, I started thinking about my siblings that look up to me, because they saw me that I was high, I was drinking, I was messing around with girls, and they started following in my footsteps little by little until when I gave my life to Christ. I prayed the sinner's prayer, and I knew that I was a sinner. And I went back outside and I told my little brothers, I gave my life back to Jesus, and I want to do better for you guys, but mostly for God, because I really need Him right now. After that, I became an usher at a local church on Mackenzie Street, and I got introduced to a man there, and he introduced me to Ivan at 701, and I started doing MMA, and I was really good at it. I really fell in love with it because I sucked at football, I sucked at basketball. Everybody made fun of me on the other sports. So MMA was my thing, and I loved UFC, so I just started doing MMA. And they taught me more about the Bible and the story of David, where he picks those that are really seem less regard to bigger people. I really hope I get to serve people, because all my life I was learning to hurt people, abuse others, and to get benefits out of other people. So I really hope that what God does for me in the future is I want to serve my country and to the best of my ability, and I want to be a United States Navy SEAL. And I pray about this a lot. So.
At the time, I was struggling with a lot of insecurities and a lot of things of my issues, such as anger problems, depression, loneliness, and having this feeling to belong somewhere, and always feeling empty. And I would say God, when He came into my life, He filled all those voids, all those things that I was trying to fill with my own pleasures and whatever stuff I was doing at the time. Because all my life, I would say I've always had bad influences, and I would say I was always impressionable, and I've always had things put on me and whatnot. And God set me free from a lot of that. And Youth for Christ, when Youth for Christ came into my life, at that point, I would say I wasn't really taking God as serious. And a lot of the fellowship that Youth for Christ opened up for me, because the fact that we had club in my school. And with me being at school, like I said, I wasn't really surrounded. Even as I was pursuing God, I would say I was probably about the only one out of a group of probably like 15 to 20 friends that I had that was pursuing God. And none of them really cared for God. They were all still in the world. They all liked to party, drink, gang bang, sell dope, whatever they were doing at the time, and many of them, as I say this right now, many of them are probably still doing that. And look at me right now. And Youth for Christ really helped me to just learn and focus on God. And, Youth for Christ if it never existed, I probably would have never been as faithful as I am now, or probably never has been as courageous as I am now. And I'm really thankful for what Youth for Christ has done and has opened up for me, I would say. And in my hard times, even there's just the love that my brothers have offered me, and just telling me that, I'm here for you, bro. And if you need prayer, I got you. You want to hang out? I got you. And it's like, whenever I was feeling down, because like just that little encouragement is what kept me going, even in my hardest times. Because I would say that even as I pursue God this year, I've dealt with a lot. But even though dealing with a lot, I would say it not that it didn't affect me, but it strengthened me almost, because I wouldn't have had the wisdom that I have now if I didn't go through all those things, you know? And it just really, Youth for Christ just really helped me grow out of my shell and just become more comfortable and just confident in serving Christ. I hope that God opened more doors so I could speak to others who were in the same position as I was. That God would open more doors so I can speak to those who feel like they're hopeless, and that, you know, I would just love to be there just the way that Youth for Christ has been there for me. And as I say this right now, my pastor has just recently told me that he wants me and my other brother Elijah to be co-youth pastors for my church. And I'm looking forward to what God has for me. And I know whatever it is, it's for me, because, you know, God has my best interests, and I appreciate everything he's done.
Kids like Jesus, kids like Fabian got connected to Youth for Christ through their neighborhood, through their school. Kids get connected everywhere. We go wherever youth are. And we desire to have Christ-sharing relationships, the type of relationships that go beyond the campus, that go beyond the neighborhood, but really go into the heart. And so we've seen Jesus and Fabian come from kids who were angry, kids who were in a trap house, in a drug house, whose families were dysfunctional, who really had no hope. But through the influence of Jesus, through a person, through a YFC volunteer, through a YFC staff member, now they're saying, man, I want to be a youth pastor. I want to be in the Army. I believe that there's better for my life, and that only comes through intentional relationship, and that's what we represent here at Youth for Christ.